Good morning. I was watching a documentary about the Koch brothers, and I just actually decided, it was so interesting. Let me see, where does it start in this book? But the idea that their father had went to Russia and started the oil industry, and then came to the United States, and they inherited all this money. But here's some of the highlights of some of the things the Koch brothers are doing. They're using the law that they write to buy the United States, to destroy it from what it sounds like. In the beginning of the documentary, they start off in 2009 with a school and how they try to really destroy. I didn't write down. Oh, it's Wake County. They tried to resegregated the Wake County public school system using 22.4 million to a think tank, and their think tanks are. I have those written down too, but I'll get to that later. And then they used the Americans for Prosperity to buy the certain people and by the laws. Koch brothers gave 14 million to Cato, CATO, 5.3 million to the Heritages, 2.8 million to Reason. All of this to privatize the school system so they could get more money. You get like the racist idea. Well, we'll get it back to segregation. They were using keywords like what a messy thing I wrote here. So much for taking notes. But anyway, they were using keywords like like against busing. They didn't. But anyway, they were using the same stuff, propaganda they were using. They were using code words like code racist words is what I wrote down. Using forced busing, like they're forcing these children to bus. I guess their parents could have took them. But anyway, to privatize the school, that fell. It took 2 years after the Koch's representatives planned to. After they had planted representatives in different offices in the school boards, and they were finally able to vote those people out. Starting with the superintendent. The Koch brothers supported school board members were voted out of office. Koch takes over state government. Then they went to take over the state government. Use the university corruption of the higher education. Koch brothers pointed views. Okay. Crazy notes. 150 colleges under the that was getting money from the Koch brothers to go under their agenda and teach what they wanted to teach. What is the Harris? The teach. Okay. So they used about 57.2 million to the college and universities to make their own laws, to try to certain universities. And then I goes on to they're making about the minimum wage. They're against minimum wage and they're against the unions. They've been spending millions of dollars, 14 millions with the Cato, the Harrison, the Reasons, all to try to trying to stop. The Koch brothers are bad news. I spent a lot of money. Let's see. The Koch brothers fight against minimum wage. They also have a fight. So they have a fight against the schools. They try to privatize the schools. get them at a very young age. Get them segregated. They had a lot of people that got arrested trying to keep the schools in that particular area because of the schools were so good and their people were prospering. So they didn't want anything to change because it was working for them, and they got their schools back to the way they wanted in that county. But then they attacked the universities, and so I think that was before the hourly wages. Yeah, they attacked the universities. The Charlie Koch, I want to call him Koch. The Charlie Koch Foundation contributed $1 million to the Catholic University of America. The foundation has given $57.2 million to college and universities for the Kochs to make their own laws and so they can control what is taught and what I guess really just they're trying their best to destroy the fabric of the United States, because you got to remember that their family started off in Russia and came here during the Cold War. So I think that the brothers are very sick, and I think they're doing a treason act. I put it up on all the medias on the internet. So, and now like the Koch brothers fight against minimum wage. The Koch brothers make $1.8 million every hour, and they want to stop, cut off minimum wages for people that make $7.25 an hour. As a take home, as an average. And then it would take somebody making $7.25 an hour 75 years to make $1 million. Koch gave $23 million to the think tank that published 4,055 study papers on media projects targeted minimum wage. So like when you hear on the news where they're talking about like they're against minimum wage, they bought like the big news people. 41 states have introduced more than 180 voting bills ideas. Oh, they also was against they tried to undermine our voting system by, this is really a mess that I have here. Let's see. Cox. Okay, I guess we're going the wrong way. I like this way. So much for notes. I gotta have bigger notes today. So after the universities, then they at the simultaneously they attack minimum wage, and they also use the same people. I think they should the Harrison, the Reason, and American Prosperity. They use that. It's sort of like a useless racist. These are the people that the Cox brothers gave $14 million to Casco, CATO, or Cato, and at Harrison's $5.3 million, $5.3, and then to Reason $2.8 million to privatize the school systems. So if they could eventually privatize the public school system from elementary to high school, and then privatize the college school, I guess this is just be more of their ways to put in their ideas in more control. So whoa. They're attacking the Koch brothers are attacking minimum wage. So where's page 3? Okay, we're looking for page 3. So we go this way. Okay, there's 5, there's 4. And then, okay, so the next thing, the Koch brothers are fighting against minimum wage. Koch brothers, okay, we already went over how much they make an hour. 1.8 million an hour they make. And they are targeting the minimum wage, and what is this, 13 billion a day. They're spending 13 billion a day targeting our education system, trying to destroy us. So and 41 states have introduced, never mind, this is terrible. Let me summarize this really quick. Next would be the Social Security. They spent 14.29 million trying to destroy our Social Security, saying that it's not making money, that it's going bankruptcy. It is not making it is not going bankruptcy. Social Security is 14.29 million ahead. The Koch brothers are spending 14.29 million trying to destroy Social Security, and we're not $9 million in the positive with the Social Security. So we're covered as long as people keep working and pay, and it comes automatically out of your taxes. So they're attacking our school systems, our universities, our voting rights by buying politicians, and then they're attacking our Social Security, and they still use the same people. I think if we could attack some of their study groups, like the Harris Foundation of Leadership of Americas, and the Reasons, and the CACOs, if we for treason, I think we'll be able to. That's the only way, because the Koch brothers are so crazy and have so much money, and their vision is so sick that it could only be anti-American. So anyway, and also they have the Keystone Pipeline, which they've really been trying to push, and the only problem with that is that they found that it does really poison a lot of people, but they own the Keystone. They own the most land in Canada, United States, where they're putting the pipelines, and there's a Georgia Pacific that in Virginia is spewing out a bunch of benzene toxins, where a lot of people are dying of cancer, and they attacked the EPA, and I think they paid them $5 million to fix the environment, right? But anyway, Cox has cancer, so he put money in there also. But the people that are around his Georgia Pacific are all dying of lung cancer and other type of cancer. So, and they're all mostly people of color and the very poor. So, like, you could be white, and as long as you're poor, they're attacking you too. So, and they used the police, like in the universities, they arrested like 1,200 people before Obama stopped the Keystone Pipeline temporarily. But I just want to sum it up. Dave Koch has colon cancer, and I think he spent research $5 million. They only do the millions. You see, they don't to them, and they have like millions of $1 trillion. So they only, they have a lot of money. They use their millions, which is probably what they make on interest on their trillions of billions of dollars. That because if you got to imagine that if every hour you're making 1.8 million, that's quite a bit of money. That's, what is it, like, I think I have that written down, how much that comes out to daily. I want to say 47 million. But anyway, they make quite a bit of money, and they're spending quite a bit of money on undermining Americans' Constitution through our education system, through allowing our citizens to trying to stop citizens from voting, polluting our air, water, and land with their sand tars and their Keystone XL and the pipelines that go through it, and it will be a environmental disaster. I mean, it's a tragedy. Environmental disaster. Environmental disaster. Yeah. So much for. But anyway, I guess it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since like 2. I'm just so thinking that like it with the Koch brothers, they are clear and present danger. Just to sum it up, I know it's a little sketchy, but just know that they're attacking and the unions too. They attack the unions. They don't want people to organize. So they want to be in the schools. They want to stop you from voting. They want to stop the unions. And they want to stop minimum wages, and they want to stop Social Security. So basically, you have to think that their actions is that of anti-American and treason. And yes, they could have police throw their job, but as history shows, that the police also are part of America. And like here locally, they're pay something going on with that. I know their medical and their health insurance is sort of kaput, and their retirement is going null and void. And of course they probably had paid into their retirement like everybody else, and they will still have Social Security. But the thing is that the ones that at the lowest told them that, you know, like the ones like in Ferris and the policemen that are like gun hold for this type of military type of America, where you will not have any voting rights, where if you want to have your kids to have education, they're going to have to go through private. If you want to have medical care, you're going to have to go through private. If you want to have a retirement, you're going to have to buy it, you know, through private. So the thing is that, and now, like, I can't speak for a lot of people, but I'm so poor I couldn't afford that shit anyway. So it doesn't really matter, you know. And I've worked since I was 15. I paid into this bullshit too, and I pay taxes here. And you know, as long as we have people like the Koch brothers that could come in and buy our politics, buy people like Mitt Romney and other Republicans, representatives, and other people in the Senate, and they could buy Supreme Courts, because they were saying something about they bought 2 Supreme Court people. As long as our America, freedoms and justice and Constitution is for sale, we're gonna slowly watch the deterioration of our country to where it's bankrupt like Detroit, because that's their ultimate goal. They don't care if they destroy this planet, because they think they got tons of money, and I guess they could finance to try to find another planet or move to the Mars for their kids. Or like Davy Cox, you know, he was able to kick cancer with just $5 million. For him, that's a drop in a bucket, you know. I mean, can you imagine what type of wonderful experience this life could be if people like him were more inclined to doing something that wasn't so self-destructive and so nastily polluting our water, air, and causing cancer, because it is obvious that they are of this planet and they won't be able to avoid any of the hazards that might come of it, like earthquakes, fires, floods, tsunamis. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know who they could blame or punish for their actions. But I'm sure it's the same as the police in Ferguson. They will find someone. It's not going to change anything, and I don't think them thinking about going to another now they're looking at Mars and different places for water and out in the atmosphere, out in the space. I think that'd be a grievous error, because if you look at some of the space shows like Star Trek, all the planets they went to did have air. If you can find a planet that has air that you could just go and breathe, and then you could find a planet where the Koch brother won't take long for them to destroy all living life. So I think we should just try not to. Well, anyway, as long as they can use racism as a way to destroy America at its base and its fabric of its whole structure of the constitutional rights, that I guess we're cheap. But anyway, the rest of us won't notice. We'll just go to work. It's Monday. Happy Monday.